Hello and welcome to this session of Holiversal Nutrition. And today we want to address the question, what is actually nutrition? Yeah, nutrition is like a really wide range of subject we could talk about. And I want to focus on what I feel and what I've learned the last years and decades about the subject, which is emotional and it's really everyday different. I love to share with all of you what are my insights and my story about it. So talking about my story, I want to first start making sure that we understand that I'm coming from a very common background. At home, in my childhood, there was always everything to eat, like in traditional ways of the last centuries, of the end of the last century. And I actually grew up in Eastern Germany, and really wide range of different food and, for example, of different, meatballs and like really nice stuff for the parties that were exceptionally. And thanks to my grandmother, the mother of my father, she worked in a butchery, so there was always everything. And I grew up in this kind of environment with very little knowledge about what happens when we put things into our mouth and we think that they give us energy and they do something good in us. So in the worst days, like 20 years ago, I was 200 pounds heavy, 100 kilograms, and I was definitely outside of my body. It's curious because it seems such a huge body trying to pick up parts of my soul, but actually I don't know where I was, but I was definitely not inside this miraculous being. And from this point I started to get more involved with myself, to take responsibility of what I was eating, to analyze and do trial and error, and then starting with some knowledge. Actually, my daughter, when I was first pregnant, I started changing some eating habits. From one day to the other, I could only eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Then later, when she turned 2, friends of us, they made something like a fast. So it was my first introduction 14 years ago to really totally different approaches to nutrition. And I'm very grateful because everything led step by step to where I am today. So I bless all of the years and ignorance, as well as all of these last years of growing consciousness, of opening my mind, and of overcoming old habits and belief systems, actually. Yeah. So for me it's a pleasure today and the following weeks and months to share with you what I have been through, which are the beliefs I could get rid of by transforming them into something lightful and lovingly, and also to share what are my theoretical insights. So what for me, for example, is nutrition today. And in order to be able to explain this really, I would like to pull part of the Holiversal life concept and all the lifestyle revolution we are sharing all together. And this is the part how I could imagine and explain our duality of being and our existence in this fragmented area, so that we have a chance to use all the fragments in order to get back the puzzle for unity. Yeah. So if I imagine like a coin of money or of gold, and I have two sides, okay? So on one side I have just the holiness. It's like if I only look at the side, it's like I only look at the full moon where I only see the light. Knowing that even if I only see this part, there is another part. And this other part is like our earthly being, or it's I don't want to say the shadow side of the coin, but it is like the part which is not that easily in light, and I want to put light in that. And so if I watched it closely, I can distinguish, like, first of all, a duality in the physical matter, really materialization, and all the non-physical aspects of earthly existence. And according to recent physics, which I love, is like this material part is 0.0000001% of everything. And there is included everything we have ever learned in school about how our vital systems work and how digestion can be explained, and all these really earthbound parts of it. And the 99.9999999%, which are remaining of this total, is the non-material but still earthbound part of existence. And that's what we can call psyche. And the psyche is, according to all the definitions I found and also in my personal experience, it's just equal to soul. That's our soul, and that's what we are. It's 99% of us is soul, and 0.1%, like roundabout, it's our physical body, which gives us the opportunity to express ourselves as souls. Because souls, there are millions. It's like in a broken window or in a pixeled picture, like millions and millions of small little dots, and that's everywhere. You can see it in every snowflake, in every raindrop, in every sand corn. Everywhere is like these soul beings, and only if we get a chance to have such a beautiful materialized body, then we are able to express ourselves among humanity, among ourselves on this planet Earth. So we have the psyche, the soul, which in itself can also be easily distinguished in 3 focus areas. And these 3 focus areas correspond to the 3 aspects of our brain evolution. So there is an instinct part, which can be located more or less in the digestive area of the small column. And this is not something new, we know. Also, like 2,000 years ago, the antique Greeks knew that in the digestive area there's huge potential. There are enormous amount of neurons, which are the cells working in the nervous system, with the transmitting of electrical signals. So there is like the area of the instinct, and where I find the really subconscious collective, all the information that transcend our life, our family background, that really goes back without any limits, as it is a way of working not linear. Yeah, so it's a resonance phenomenon, and if it was today or 40,000 years ago or 5 million years ago on the same planet, the energetic patterns are quite similar. So we are totally connected on this part of our physical body with the impulse, recipients, and conscious awareness to all the things that ever happened on Earth. Yeah. So the second part of these 3 underlying structure units of the psyche or our soul is our emotional center, which can be symbolized by the heart. And there we really are here to express ourselves, to fully feel things that moves us. It's another level of vibration where we get into the deep sea, so to say, of really of our emotions, of the emotions of those who are around us, who we care about, who we are in relation with. And these relations are also nurtured somehow, conscious or unconsciously. And the third part would be our rational mind, which is then the more evolved part of the brain. The first was like the instinct part, then comes the limbic system, and all on top of it the neocortex, which enables human beings to really be Homo sapiens sapiens, which is the human that knows that it knows. So there's some new quality. And the question, if I have these three parts of the psyche, and they all come together in alignment and coherence, that we think and feel and do the same things, or the same vibrational impulses, frequency and harmony, and then we use this marvelous instrument of our physical body to really check and notice where we are and where it still needs some affinations. And the objective at the end is that these four parts, actually, this 100% of our earthly being, all works together, and we have access to 100% of our intuition. And when this happens, then we automatically come back to the already enlightened part of our coin, of the moon, or of ourselves as a divine spark, and we are in the possibility to experience divinity, the heaven on earth. Okay, so being on earth, it's our work to check how we nurture these different aspects, and when they are all in alignment, then we automatically access divinity and our highest self and our completion in really wonderful ways. Okay, so when we check what we put into our mouth on the physical body, if we check what we put into our knowledge system, which I do the same sign, although I really want to make sure that you understand it's not here where we think. It's just if we have clear and open-minded channels, then we can receive divine impulses that are translated into ideas. And we are clear here, then we can receive divine impulses that are translated into emotions and emotional relationships. And if we are clear in our body and in our digestive system, then we can receive and recognize and transform the really subconscious and really old patterns of humanity. Yeah. So the question is, everything that comes into our field, in our electromagnetic field, in our aura, as the esoterics would say, on the physical part, if I eat an apple, or if I think or allow some kind of thoughts to happen, or emotions or instinctive reactions, then the next part is what happens with this. So the apple, if I eat it, I bite it, then I swallow it, then the next parts of the process are pretty unconscious, out of my real control, because they're like happening in my digestive system. And then coming to the more far away parts of the system, I really take advantage of the things that nurture and that help to evolve and are like of service to my being. And the others, I really let them go back into light, into earth, and feel free. And then I can take in again, let transform inside myself in all different kinds of vibration, ideological, thinking wise, feeling wise, instinctively wise. Also on the body part, which is the physical digestion. And I have always the intake, the transformation, and the letting go. And this works in all these four parts. Yeah, and this kind of process and all these different kinds of levels, that's for me what is nutrition. And yeah, it seems complex, but it also is a huge possibility to interact. So if I'm trying to get rid of an habit of eating something I know it is unhealthy, and I find myself out of power to really just quit it, so I can work on the other parts and help myself to really be in alignment, to have enough strength, so that the physical needy part sooner or later just goes away, because the force is less and less. And that's the invitation that we're gonna look for the different parts, look for different ideas, tools, so that everybody can take advantage and take responsibility for their own lives, for their habits on all different levels, and make sure that this enlightenment, this full moon, is only a question to put light into all the bits and pieces we are composed of. And stop thinking that what we learn and what we hear and what we see and what we feel and what we taste are like different parts. It all comes together. In essence, it's one single message. And our aim is to be able to find love everywhere, in every single thing and bit and part that happens to us every day, 24 hours a week. No, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. Okay, that's for today. I hope you could feel something that encouraged you to go forward, and see you soon. Love and light from Germany. Mwah.